time for random picks 2. Well, I didn't expect to start this quickly, but still, better be ahead because I'll have lots of things to do next week. I got another bunch of numbers here from somebody called drewishort100. I don't know who that is. He hasn't made any videos, or she, I don't know who it is. But thank you very much, and I'll show you your different picks. And this is a quite odd mixture, this is very varied. Some Swedish, some comedy. I'm going to start today. The first one of the records you picked was this one, Mort Sahl, At the Hungry Eye, or Mort Sahl. This is a stereophonic verve from the early 60s, I think. Oh, it has the original verve in the sleeve. That's very nice. And it has this verve stereophonic label, and you see nothing much written on it, but it looks like that. And Mort Sahl was, or well, maybe still is, I don't know. Is he alive? Or is he still active? Was a comedian that didn't go for the very simple laughs. He talked a lot, very politic, discussed a lot. He didn't tell jokes, more discussed, told stories. I happened to find a big pile of Mort Sahl albums, or Mort Sahl, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, at the local charity shop. It was maybe 4 or maybe 5 years ago when I found maybe 10 albums. I didn't know that much about him before that, but since then I learned more. He made most of his albums for Verve, but also for Reprise, and I think the last one he made was, or the last one I've got, Sing a Song of Watergate, was for Columbia, unless I'm mistaken. Anyway, the record is in good condition. The sleeve is a bit worn, but very good to listen to. I mean, you don't laugh out loud when you listen to this, but you think, well, this is quite clever stuff, and not that difficult to take in. So, some American comedy, Mort Sahl, At the Hungry Eye. I don't know exactly the year. I've probably written it down somewhere, but I would say early 60s. And it's a stereo comedy album. That's quite interesting. Okay. Then we have a British comedy album, and this is actually 2 complete episodes from the BBC One TV series featuring Ronnie Barker. It's called Porridge, and it's about Ronnie Barker, who plays a man who's in jail, who's in prison, and we have 2 episodes from that here, An Evening In and Heartbreak Hotel. These were transmitted in 1975. Ronnie Barker is, of course, more famous for his work together with the 2 Ronnies, and Ronnie Barker was a very good comedian, wrote good, played good, and this is, as I said, a BBC issue. I like these BBC issues. Lots of English comedy was issued on the BBC label, which I think was, it was manufactured and distributed by Pie Records. During most parts of the 70s and early 80s, they had this dark blue and white label, and you can see there to the left that it's written Pie. So it's connected to the Pie Records. This issue is from 1977. I have never seen this television series. I haven't been able. Well, I guess there are some clips of it on YouTube. But I listened to this, and of course, it's good material, very good material, and it's produced by Sidney Lotterby, and it's, let's see, who wrote this? Written by Dick Clement and Ian Lafrenais, or Frenais, I'm not sure about the pronunciation. So, good quality British comedy, and I like these BBC issues, and I always look out for more. For some reason, it's easier to get hold of American comedy on vinyl than British comedy on vinyl here in Sweden. No idea why. Okay, let's take a quite big leap. I'm not sure if you have heard about this Swedish singer-songwriter who made his first album in the early 70s. He made everything himself. The issue was, well, he paid for everything. He recorded everything, just guitar and voice. And he's called Erik Askan. Or Ashan, as I thought his name was pronounced, but I've heard that it's called, you pronounce it Askan. And this is a later record where he's not just added other musicians and new songs. It's a double album, and he's even changed his name here, so it's called Erik Gabriel Villan Syrker. Erik Gabriel Villan Syrker. And it says here in small letters here, före detta Askan, previous Askan. So we know that it's the same guy. And the record is called Mothugg, mina sånger kommer alltid att leva. My songs will always live. That's... and it's issued on the record label called Erik Syrker, so this is his own production. And it's a double album, as I said. It's from 1981, and it's very scarce. This is quite rare. I mean, and I don't know if it's that sought after because it's so. He's such an odd bird, the Swedish singer and songwriter bird tree. But quite nice label. It's his own production, and it's a double album. So he produced, paid to record and issue this double album by himself. So, and it's his second record. I have his first record too. That one is much more sought after and much more rare. And also the issue I have is also quite rare reissue from, well, maybe around the years, around the millennium. But the original issue was recorded in 1973. Oh, this is the third issue. He made one in 1977. The first one was called Erik Askan. The second one was also called Erik Askan. I mean album. And the third one, Erik Gabriel Villan Askan. It says here, but also Syrker. Erik is very confusing. And is this brilliant? I wouldn't say that. It's not the kind of record that it's very odd, and it's his very personal style. Can't really compare him to anybody. Just a very odd fellow, and that's one reason why I bought this. And I can't have paid that much for this. I don't remember when I bought it, but I must have found it in some charity shop. Bought it for almost nothing. So, very odd. Okay, the next one is definitely not an odd album. It's an album that I didn't ask for, but I bought a big pile of, or smaller pile of LPs from a seller on Tradera, the Swedish version of eBay. But for some reason, the seller decided to throw in an extra LP. that I didn't ask for. Maybe to make to fill up the package, or I don't know what. But anyway, it may be interesting to show. I haven't thrown it away, but I haven't listened to it either, and I'm not sure if I ever will. But I know this artist, and it's a Swedish singer called Tanya. Well, that's not her real name. That's her artist's name, but I don't remember her real name. And it's called "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina," and of course it's the Andrew Lloyd Webber, Tim Rice song from Evita, and this was recorded in 1978, and she was the one who had the big hit in Sweden with "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina." On this album we also find Swedish versions of, well, no, actually it's just songs with English lyrics and French actually, but we mainly find cover versions on this album. We have 3 Times a Man, feminine versions of 3 Times Lady by Lionel Richie. We have Heartbreaker, very popular song then. Desperado, The Eagles. Jolene by Dolly Parton. Sailing by Gavin Sutherland. And Complaint pour de Sainte-Catherine. I think that's Kate and Anna McGarrigle who did that. Anyway, it's produced by Tony Söderberg and arranged by Anders Engberg, and we have some Swedish musicians here. We have we have the organist Kjell Öhman from the Telsstars. And yeah, I can the studio elite at this time, although many of the musicians aren't that famous internationally. I mean, we haven't got any big star prog rockers on this album, I can tell you that. Well, we have the bass player of ABBA, Rutger Gunnarsson, and this was issued on Bert Karlsson's label, Marianne. Had this yellow label during the late 70s, early 80s. The sleeve looks quite crap, but the record looks fine. But I've kept it because I got it, and I haven't listened to it yet, but someday I will. I don't think I will find this very exciting. I wonder what happened to this singer, Tanya. She was quite hot in Sweden, late 70s, early 80s, but then she just disappeared. Okay, well, the last one is this one. Amazing Rhythm Aces, Burning the Ballroom Down, on ABC Records. And this I may have bought in... I know I bought some records by the Amazing Rhythm Aces. I bought some in Solna. I bought some on an auction. I don't remember right now where I got this one, but it's quite recently. In a sleeve with lyrics. That's a label. Yeah, we have the normal label that ABC used at this time. I mean, this is nothing special, but I think it's good. It's good music. I like this style of music, with folk, with country rock. Yeah, so this is from 1978, by the way. Not their first album. They made a few albums back then, but I think it's quite good. Maybe not the most exciting band, but still good enough to keep and good enough to listen to. So that was the Random Picks number 2. And thank you, Drew is Short, or how you're supposed to pronounce your name, drewishort100, for making the picks for me. Bye bye.